So next we have a presentation from Mackerel Metals, which is an upcoming IPO. Mackerel Metals is a demerger from Zenith Minerals, Australian gold and base metals projects. So to tell us more, today I'm joined by Managing Director, Kevin Seymour. Good afternoon, Kevin.
Good afternoon, Jane, and thanks for the opportunity to present today. It's much appreciated. And the obligatory disclaimers and forward-looking statements, and I'll urge anyone interested to please download and read the prospectus, which they can find on our website at www.mackerelmetals.com.au. Anyway, moving on. Mackerel represents the demerger of Zenith gold and base metal assets, as Jane mentioned, and they're located throughout Australia. We believe we've got a string of quality critical metal assets, advanced copper, zinc, and silver, which we're planning to develop over the longer term. And in the short term, we've got some compelling gold assets, which we believe we can rapidly advance and monetize. We've got an aggressive exploration program planned over the next 18 months with over 11,000 metres of drilling scheduled. And that enables us to get a good, strong news flow out to the marketplace. We believe that the resource potential at our Arahidi Zinc joint venture, where we're our funding partner, Rumble Resources, have announced that they're going to bring forward their maiden resource to the first half of next year, up from the second half. So that's going to give us another upkick in their share price and give a significant upkick in our share price when that resource is announced next year. At the end of the day, the Arahidi Zinc joint venture pretty much underpins the value of this IPO with our 25% free carry. And you'll see from the quality of the other assets that we have that it's quite a compelling story to be told. We believe we've got a very strong board and highly credentialed senior management team to advance these assets and advance the company as we grow to go forward. So we're having to raise between $6 and $10 million at 30 cents per share. If we get to the $10 million mark, we'll have around about 200 million shares on issue, cash and investments just over $11 million, market cap around $60 million, and an enterprise value just shy of 49 million. So there's going to be 167 million shares distributed in specie to existing Zenith shareholders, and we hope to gain another 33 million shares through this IPO process. Importantly, Zenith are staying on as shareholders. They're actually going to be acquiring into this IPO, and they're picking up $1.9 million worth of shares, so just over 3% of the company. We also believe that we have strong backing from the backers of EVM Metals, which is Zenith Minerals' funding partner and their joint venture for their lithium exploration in Western Australia. So looking at the board, myself, I'm a geologist, over 35 years experience, previously the General Manager of Exploration and Business Development for Ramelius Resources. Michael Naylor is an accountant. He's the MD of EV Metals, and he comes across to chair Mackerel. Andrew Bruton is a mining lawyer, and he's previously the CEO of MacArthur Minerals. Stan McDonald is a mining entrepreneur in Western Australia, was the founding director of Australia Resources, the founding director of Zenith Minerals, and he comes across to join the Mackerel board too. So we'll quickly look at our West Australian projects first. We'll just touch upon the Arahidi project in central Western Australia. It's actually two projects here. Not only do we have the free carry on the funding with our joint venture with Rumble Resources, but we also have a large swath of 100% owned tenure in our own right surrounding the deposits. We'll then look down to the Split Rocks Gold Project, where we're farming in 90% of the gold rights from Zenith, while Zenith focus on the lithium exploration potential down through there. So quickly, the Arahidi Zinc joint venture, as I said, we're free carried through to a bankable feasibility study on this project, free carried on a 25% equity. Funding partner Rumble have been very aggressive with their exploration campaign. There's over 50,000 metres planned this year, and it's to advance to a resource status next year. Only last week, they announced some very encouraging metallurgical recovery results, over 90% recovery on the flotation test work, and a zinc concentrate up to 59%. Now that's the best of the best of the best when it comes to metal operations. Ultimately, what it means is you're not talking about a high capex project. This can be developed on a fairly simple processing train of a flotation circuits with very good recoveries. We're also talking about a very shallow deposit. The exploration target that Rumble have announced between 100 and 120 million tonnes is open pitable. It's only down to 120 metres below surface. So it's very amenable to a relatively simple mining and processing milling operation. Surrounding the farm and joint venture ground, it's hard to see on the scale of this picture, but it covers 18 kilometres strike. What we have surrounding that is over 100 kilometres of prospective Erehity Basin unconformity, which hosts the zinc mineralisation. And we know we're going to have some extensions of the mineralisation as it comes into our ground, as we abut the joint venture ground, both to the northwest and also to the southeast of the project. So we're very comfortable and very excited about the opportunities that will unfold on here to find new zinc discoveries around the margins of the unconformity as we go forward. We're planning drilling. We're hoping to start before Christmas, but we're just waiting for the final approvals on heritage clearances to come through before we embark upon our reconnaissance drilling on 100% ground. Moving down to the Split Rocks project, we've got 660 square kilometres of prospective greenstone belt here in the Southern Cross Greenstone Belt, about 400 kilometres east of Perth, nestled nicely between the Bounty gold mine to the south of us and the Marble Lock gold mine to the north. What I want to do here today is just focus in on one key prospect area that we've identified. This Dulce Far North target extends over 1.8 kilometres strike, and the last round of exploration that Zenith had completed prior to deciding to IPO the assets was they drilled these absolutely bonanza intersections of 5 metres at 7.4 grams per tonne gold and 9 metres at 2 grams per tonne gold in the same hole. These are supported by intersections of 3 metres at 10.7 grams per tonne gold and 5 metres at 10.6, all over 400 metres strike. We're planning to do infill drilling and extensional drilling over the available 1.8 kilometre strike in order to get to a resource status on this project fairly quickly. We believe we can monetize this asset very quickly, and that's part of our strategy, knowing that we've got milling infrastructure close by. We've got the Marble Lock mill owned by Mindra, 40 k's up the road, and Ramillies Resources at Namay mill at Westonia, about 150 k's to the northwest of us. So we're very excited about the opportunities that can present from this sort of strategy going forward. Moving now across to our Queensland projects, we'll touch upon the Devlin Creek base metal project west of Rockhampton, the Red Mountain project about 400 k's northwest of Brisbane, and then we'll quickly look at the Quara gold project south of Canberra in New South Wales. So the Devlin Creek project, we already have a resource here, just under 5 million tonnes at 1.2% copper, 1.4% zinc, a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver floating around. But it's important, these are classic volcanic hosted mesosulfides deposits enriched in copper and zinc, and we know they're going to occur in clusters. We've got over 50 kilometres of strike of the prospective host lithologies, and we've already identified significant mineralisation as Snook prospect, 16 kilometres south of the resource. There's a number of airborne EM plate anomalies that haven't been followed up, and we're going to be targeting those over the field season in 2023, as well as drilling out potential extensions to the resource at Sulphide City. Moving down to Red Mountain, this is a classic intrusion-related gold system. It's located just 400 kilometres northwest of Brisbane, and it's nestled nicely between the Krakow gold mine, 60 k's to the west, and Evolution's Mount Rawdon mine to the east. Again, so you can see some opportunities available with existing milling infrastructure. But this is basically still a standalone project at this stage. We know that these sort of fracture pipe systems are vertically extensive. The classic example would be the Mount Wright gold mine east of Charters Towers at Ravenswood, which Resolute mined to 700 metres below surface, and that's just testament to the vertical continuity of the mineralisation. Red Mountain's only been drilled to 200 metres below surface at the moment, but you can see the spectacular intersections that have been returned. 13 metres at 8 grams per tonne gold, 15 metres at 3.5 grams per tonne gold. Now we're planning to test that vertical plunge continuity. You can see from the picture the yellow coloration of the IP anomaly re-emerges at depth, and we're expecting that to continue, and we'll be targeting our deeper RC diamond drill holes into that around about 400 metres below surface during 2023. The last project I'm going to talk about is the Quara Gold Project. This is a subscription agreement with a private exploration company called Oxy Resources. We're committed to, we've earned up to just under 27% of this project on the back of the intersections they hit earlier this year, including 21 metres at 5.1 grams per tonne gold, 19 metres at 3.6 21 metres at 3.7. Now, what's compelling about this is it's the same sort of geology in the Lachlan Fold Belt as the giant Fosterville gold mine in Victoria. We're seeing some good widths to the shear structure. We've got 5 kilometre strike available to us, and we know there's a very strong correlation between the gold mineralisation and the IP chargeability, and we're going to be using that to target our exploration drilling over the 5 kilometres of strike that we have to play with. So we've got a lot on our plate. As I said, we've got over 11,000 metres scheduled over the next 18 months. We've already started drilling on our Split Rocks Dulcifara North target. We're about halfway through the program. Typically, the laboratories are still very slow in Western Australia. We're probably waiting 2 months for assay results, but that will pan out nicely for us because we'll get assay results shortly after we list on the ASX. We aim to have assays after Christmas, hopefully before the new year. Our funding partner, Rumble Resources, on the Arahidi Zinc joint venture, will continue to maintain a good flow of assay results coming out of their ResDev drilling. As I said, they brought forward their resource modelling, so there'll be a good upkick in the share prices for both companies in the new year once the resource is announced. We're also planning our diamond drilling at Red Mountain and exploration drilling at Devlin Creek as the field season kicks off in North Queensland. We're just waiting for the weather to calm down a little bit. Obviously, we don't want to do ground EM surveys whilst thunderstorms are still cracking around in the countryside. So we've got a lot on our plate, a lot of good news flow to come out of our projects as we progress the targets go forward and advance the resources, reserves, and ultimately get to development stages on these targets. And finally, I just want to say the key investment dates for the IPO, it went open to the public on the 10th of November. The priority date for existing Zenith shareholders closes tomorrow on the 25th of November, and the offer for the public closes on the 2nd of December. So that's Friday next week. So I urge you, if you're keen to put your application forms in as quickly as possible. And we anticipate listing on the ASX on around the 16th of December. So thank you for your time and listening. And any questions, please let me know.
Thanks so much for the presentation, Kevin. A couple of questions have come through. So when is the BFS expected to conclude?
Well, it hasn't started yet. They're just still doing their resource drilling. They've got to wait for the assay results to come from the lab like everyone else. There are delays in that process. They've got the encouraging metallurgical test work. They'll need to complete more metallurgical test work before they can finalise that over the scale of the project we're talking about. They have the resource out by midway through next year, so they can then start on their scoping study and definitive feasibility studies as they progress through. So I wouldn't envisage anything before another 2 years away.
And of the portfolio of projects that you've got, which are phenomenal projects actually, what excites you most?
I like the Red Mountain because I can see a true opportunity for a large standalone multi-million ounce deposit given the vertical continuity that we expect to see in that system.
Yes, there's certainly some good grades in those holes that you showed us earlier. So very exciting times, and good luck with the IPO.
Thank you very much, Jane. Thank you for your time.